Hello friends, welcome to JUnit 4 Framework Training Session 2. This is Haradhan once again. In this session, you can learn basic annotations available in JUnit 4 and how we can implement them in any JUnit class, right? So in my last session, you already gone through about the JUnit 4 introductions and how we can, right, create any JUnit class in Eclipse and how we can execute our test cases. So here in the last session I already created a project called JUnit 4 training, and here under the src folder that package I have created JUnit 4 training, right, and you can see in the reference library sections Harmcast core and JUnit 4 versions jar file I have associated. Otherwise you will not able to run JUnit 4 class whatever you are creating in your project, right? Okay, so you first, if you do not set up the configuration for JUnit 4, you just need to download this do jar file and you need to create a folder in the C drive called JUnit 4. You need to place them. After that you need to set the environment variables where you need to create JUnit, right, underscore home and the class path, these two variables. And definitely you should have Java installed in your systems, and Java JDK and bin is already added in your Java underscore home and path variables, right? So if you do not know how to associate the jar files, you simply need to right click here on the JUnit training JUnit project whatever you have created, and you need to click on the properties. You need to select Java build path, you need to click on the library and you need to click on the add external jar, and you need to go to that part right in the C drive JUnit 4 and you need to select those jar file and you need to add them right in your project. So once you add those jar file in your project, and if you go to the any packages, if you need to click on the new and other, you can, if you here type here JUnit, you can see under the Java folder there is a folder called JUnit, and in that JUnit folder JUnit test case and JUnit test suite options will be there. You can select JUnit test case for now, right, and if you select here you can see the source folder and package is selecting by default, okay, and here you can see new JUnit 4 test, so we will select it. We will not select new JUnit 3 test because in the JUnit 3 no annotation is available, and we need to give the name, right, JUnit annotation, okay, and here you can see some method is there by default. One is set up before class, which is before class. One is tear down after class, which is after class. One is set up, which is similar to before, and one is tear down, which is similar to after, okay. So I will not select anything here, I will simply click on the finish. So as and when you are clicking on the finish, so by default @test annotation will be added here, and one method will be created, right, called test, and it's, you can see here fail not yet implemented will be there. You can remove it, otherwise if you run it, it will fail the test case. If you run it, if you right click and click on the run option and JUnit test, see it will fail because I want assertion, I want to fail it, right. You can see here, right, this is the name of the suite, the package name dot the class name, right, JUnit 4 is the package name and JUnit annotation is the class name, and this is the method name, right. So each and every test annotation will be considered test cases, okay, and if the test cases fail, there is an option called copy failure list where you can visit the failure region and you can correct it, right, and from here you can run and debug it. So that is the one more advantage is there, and if from the failure track you can see the error, right, from the failure trace, okay. Now we will just remove the failure part, and you can change the code, right, method name, and simply here we will write down SOISO output for JUnit test method test 1. So that's why I want to print out in the console, right. Now if you run your code, you can see as the test case was failed, it is showing in the red mark, and you can see run one by one, error 0, failure is 0 because the test case got failed. Now if you run it, because right now there is no such chances of failure, right? We are not giving any assertions, only simply we want to print the output, right? So it will be printed, the output for JUnit test method 1, it will be printed in the console. And you can see the test case is first, and obviously test name is, right, should name, right, package name dot class name, right? And if you expand it, you can see the test 1, this is the method name got first, and this is the time, total time taken, right, which is 15 millisecond only. Now if you want to add more test case in your same class, you can add it, right? So at the test annotation, each and every at the test annotation you consider a single test case, so you can change it to method 2, and here I am just changing it to method 2. Now if you run your code, you can run it from here directly. You need to select the class, and you can see both the test case will be run successfully because nothing, no failure is there, right? So you can see output for JUnit test method 1, test 1 and test 2, right? So both the output is coming successfully, and if you expand the project, right, left span, you can see both the method is coming and total time taken for both the method, right? So this is called at the rate test annotation in JUnit. Okay, there are a lot of more annotation is there in the JUnit 4. Okay, so some of the annotation was not available in JUnit 3, so annotation started from JUnit 4 onward, and if you go to JUnit 5, there will be lot more annotation will be available in JUnit 5, okay, which is similar to testng, okay, and some of the annotation name also got changed in JUnit 5. Okay, so what does it mean by annotation? JUnit annotation is a special form of syntactic metadata that can added to Java source code for better code readability and structure. Okay, variable, parameter, package, method and classes can be annotated. Whenever you are declaring some variables or method name or class name, that can be annotated, right? You have seen here, before class, before method, we have annotated at the rate test. Even before the class is starting, we can annotate. Similarly, annotation can happen for variable, parameter, package, method and classes. Annotation were introduced in JUnit 4, which makes Java code more readable and simple. To execute Selenium WebDriver testing using JUnit framework, users have to add JUnit annotation in their test. So these are the basic JUnit annotations users should understand: at the rate before class, at the rate after class, at the rate before, at the rate after, and at the rate test. Apart from these 5 annotations, there are few more annotations available in JUnit 4, which are at the rate ignores for ignoring the test, at the rate timeout for giving the total timeout, and at the rate expected equal to exceptions.class for handling any kind of exception. In case arithmetic exception or other exception, you can handle those exception, expected exception, with the help of expected equal to exception name dot class. Okay, so here today we will discuss, okay, about this 5 annotation. Okay, so at the rate before class is used to run once before any test method in the class, and at the rate after class it can be used to run once after all the tests in the class have been run. And both the annotation, whenever we are writing any method, it should be public static void, not the public void, right? You can see here public void for the at the rate test annotation. So whenever we are dealing with at the rate before class and at the rate after class annotation, we have, if we want to write any method, it will be public static void instead of public void. And at the rate before is used to run before at the rate test, and at the rate after will be used to run after at the rate test. And at the rate test you already seen, this is called a test cases, right, or test method. I mean, under each and every at the rate test annotation, obviously method should be there, otherwise there is no point, right? Or you can use it at the rate test, not at the rate other annotation, it can be just like ignores, timeout or expected, it can be used at the class level. So, okay, but here before class, after class, before and after and test, it will be used at the method level. Okay, so if you write the before class and after class annotation, so you need to declare the method as public static void. For the other 3, before, after and test, the method type will be public void simply, no static word need to be mentioned. Okay, so first we will use at the rate before class. Okay, so here you can see some error message is coming, we need to resolve it, right? We need to import before class, right, from the org.junit. Then we will just simply create some method here. Okay, you can see some error message is coming. we can change method name is test before method before class. That is the method name we are changing. Okay. Now if you want to run it, let's run it and let's see what is happening. So it will fail. Okay, you can see it is getting fail. Why it is fail? If you expand it, right, if you copy the failure list and if you paste it in the notepad, you can see the error message details, because it should be static. Method before test, right, it should be static. So I already mentioned here in a PPT, before class and after class, whenever you are declaring any method, it should be public static void, not public void. So if you change it to public static void and let's run it and let's see what is happening now. You can see this is getting passed and output is coming, right? Outputs for JUnit test method test1. So we need to change it, but here if you expand it, you will see only two test case, right? Two test method, because at the rate, whenever you are declaring something at the rate before class, after class, or before or after, this will not be considered as a test case. This is just the prerequisite or the post condition, right, for running your test case. Suppose if you open to, if you want to open a browser, right, and so it will be prerequisite for setting the properties for the any browser. It can be Chrome browser, maximizing the browser, and your test case will be logging into that, loading a particular URL and then logging into it and logging out, and so your this will be a test case, right, and booking something, and your post condition will be quit the browser or close the browser. So those will not be, sir, logging, opening the browser and closing the browser will not be considered test case. This will be considered as pre-condition or and post condition. So that is the reason it will not be considered as a test case. So those are the method is not coming, but definitely output will be, you can get it, but operation will be performed by that particular class, right, before that annotations method. Okay, so output for JUnit test method, I am giving the class name here, sorry, method name, so you can easily understand. Similar way, for the after class, I can write another one. It will be after class. I can change it to after class annotation. Okay, and I will be also changing the method name, test after class, and here I also changing the method name, sorry, method output after class, so that you can easily understand. And here you need to import it, right, at the rate after class annotation from the org.junit. Similar way, we will write other two annotations, at the rate before and at the rate after, simply. Okay, so it will be at the rate after before class. Okay, so it is two there, so here I will be changing it to at the rate before. Okay, so I am changing the method name as well. Okay, and also the output. Similarly, at the rate after also I am changing it. And I am changing the output as well. Okay, now you need to import at the rate before from testng, right, org, sorry, from org.junit, and also at the rate after from org.junit. Okay, okay, so you can see here whatever 5 different annotation I have mentioned here, at the rate before class, after class, before and after, and the rate test I have mentioned here. Okay, so at the rate, whenever at the rate before class, the method should be public static void. Similarly, it should be same for at the rate after class, but for at the rate before and after, static void is not required, you can remove it. Okay, so it will not fail your test case, and also at the rate test annotation, you no need to use the static void. Okay, so I have given the each and every body, right, for each and every method. Okay, okay, now let's run the code and let's see what is happening, how it is behaving. So before class, after class, at the rate before, at the rate after, and using at the rate test annotation, there is two method, which is test1 and which is test2. Okay, let's run the code and let's see how it is behaving. You can see output. First it is coming as output for JUnit test method be test before class. So it will be executed once at the class level, right? So it is executing once. After that, output for JUnit test method test before, right? It will be executed at the method level, okay? And then at the rate after, okay? Then your method name is executing at the rate test method 2. Okay, sorry, here some problem is there. My test1 method is not getting executed here. Okay, let's save it and let's run it again. Okay, now it is executing properly. Okay, so before class will be executed first, that is the output is matching. Then before method for each and every method, right? So it is executing, you can see output for JUnit test method before, then your test1, right, based on the alphabetical order. Okay, so it is test1 is executing. Okay, after that after method, right, then again before method will be executing for the method before method 2, and then test method 2, right, test 2, then after method, and then at the last it's after class. Okay, so that's why it is working. So before class and after class it will be executed once, before the class and after the class everything is executed. And in case you are having multiple, right, test method for using at the rate test annotation, which will be considered a single test case, separate test case. So before and after will be executing every time. Okay, so in case you are having 3 test cases, it will be executing 3 times. So you can see only test1 and test2 is coming here, right? I already mentioned, right, whenever method is any method is having at the rate test annotation, those will be considered test case, right? That is the reason they are coming only. Okay, now and you can see the total number of time elapsed time, right? Okay, so that's why you can use all the basics 5 annotation. Okay, so I'll create separate topics or separate session for other annotation already mentioned for unit 4, like ignores, time unit, expected, right? So that are the basic 5 annotation you need to remember whenever you want to write your frame your code using JUnit. Okay, so that's all for today's session. Thank you.